Hello, Henshin heroes or Henshin Nation. We'll make up our minds about which moniker we want to stick with shortly. Well, not shortly, but at some point. But then again, me, the Metal Don, and Sentai Guy need to have a meeting about several things pertaining to the podcast. But hello, I am Nathan Marchand, aka the Subro, and unfortunately, it's just me this week. It's just me this week. Jake is out of town, spending time with the family as he should. And Chris is helping his kid succeed academically, which he also should do. So you're just getting me this week to talk about the latest episodes of Ultraman Omega and Kamen Rider ZEZTZ. I know I'm still sitting on the videos for those episodes that came out right before Christmas. I do need to get those put together. I was going to show them tonight and then clip them out later as clips, but unfortunately, I had a lot going on today and didn't get those downloaded and uploaded here to StreamYard, so that didn't happen. Unfortunately. Oh well. So, what are we up to today? So, we have Ultraman Omega, episode 24, so our penultimate episode. The Metal Don was wrong when he did, as I've watched his little review video. He thought this would be the finale. It is, in fact, not the finale. It is the penultimate episode, as it usually is. Oh, speaking of the Metal Don, he is in the chat. Yeah, it's fine. It's okay, Jake. We forgive you. We forgive you. But I expect both of you, Jake and Chris, to be on for next week, because next week is the frickin' finale. Just saying. We are definitely going to try to cover that one together, if at all possible. And then we're just going to have Zest to do live reactions to. Oh, well. But I do see we have some people showing up in the chat. This new simultaneous full screen and mobile streaming thing on StreamYard has actually gotten more viewers to show up, which is a little bit surprising for me. So I do think I'm going to stick with this particular format. So yeah, you better not. You better not. The Subro says no. You aren't missing it. You heard me. All right. So, what are we talking? So, let's get into this, shall we? So, we have episode 24 tonight, which is called The Final Blow, which sounds like it should be the name of a finale, but it is not. So, what happens in this episode? Well, according to the Ultra Wiki, it says the mood is heavy in Taiyo warehouse after Omega's goal is revealed. But then the team receives, it says receive, but I'm correcting the grammar here. The team receives an alert of a sudden kaiju attack. However, the kaiju displayed on their monitors looks a lot like a particularly strong enemy that they had already defeated. El de Gamira. I hope I said that correctly, but it's that bastard. Oh boy. What will Omega do when faced with the spitting image of his past nemesis? Ooh. Now, the fun part is we do get some we do get a couple of cameos here. One from Damaga, which was cool. Is one of that's if I remember correctly, he is a 90s kaiju, and I actually really like him. And we also, or is it X? I know. Now I'm forgetting. And we also got Gomora. We like Gomora around here. And we also had a brief appearance by Volganus. But speaking of El de Gamira, he had an upgraded form, if you could call it that, this time around. He was Zomira. I'm trying to because he doesn't have an entry in the wiki. I'm trying to see. I think he was around episode 13, if I remember correctly. And why did there we go. So does it have an entry? No, it does not have an entry for Zomira, weirdly enough, because he does look different in this. And they make him a heck of a lot scarier and kind of crazy in this. I'm surprised. The Ultra Wiki is usually a little bit behind when it comes to updating it with new monster information week in, week out. So I will say, after last week's kind of shocking reveal, well, not last week, but the previous episode's kind of shocking reveal, I knew that that was going to be tough to follow up upon. And we did get basically what I was expecting, and I give them credit. We still had an Ultraman versus Kaiju fight in this, but it wasn't exactly the one that you were thinking of, which is interesting. Because he wasn't fighting Zomira. It was a really great scene, I might add. Incredibly well shot. It's at night. It's really moody. I loved it. I absolutely adored this sequence. Like, if you need a scene to show somebody, to let them know how good Tokusatsu can be, this would be a great candidate to show them, because it looked absolutely fantastic, stylized and moody. It was great. The effects, the suit, everything came together and made this work. But what made the sequence interesting was, yes, Omega is fighting Zomira, but he's not doing it to stop Omira. He's doing it to test him. That was fascinating. Because I was like, why is he actually intervening? I thought he wasn't allowed to do that. And it's so he can see what Zomira can do so that he can basically document it. Like I said, it was really interesting. And credit to the suit actors, especially the one for Omega. He really made sure to differentiate the personality here. And yeah, trying to figure out exactly how I want to say it, but yeah, it was, like I said, it was really fascinating. Now, as for Zomira, I did like seeing how every time he would absorb another kaiju, including Gomora and Damaga, he would keep getting new augments to himself. It's very toyetic, but in a nicely subtle sort of way. And, so he kept getting more powerful. And, it's really making the challenge that our human heroes have even more intense. So now they really got to figure out, what are we doing? What are we going to do? Especially since we don't have an Ultraman to fall back on. I will admit, the stuff that they're doing, not with Ayumu's kind of fallen by the wayside a little bit here, which is kind of disappointing. But let me see. I'm trying to remember Sayuki. So I'm getting a little annoyed with how Sayuki, who wasn't introduced until a little more than halfway through the series, has apparently been working on several secret projects that we didn't really get set up. They just, show up because the plot demands it. That's a little annoying. So we had a bit more of that here again, where it turns out that Zomira exists because of Sayuki. And the weird thing is, everyone doesn't seem to be all that bothered by it. They just kind of move on. Oh yeah, I made this thing. Probably wasn't a good idea. No consequences? I'm a little disappointed with that. It's made the back half of the show, in some regards, feel a little kind of made up as they go, which is a little disappointing. I usually expect better, but the back half of the show has definitely felt different than the front half, and perhaps by design. But regardless, that aside, I did like what they did here. We did have, as you would expect, a confrontation between Omega and not Serato, but Omega and Kosei. And Kosei is trying to convince him, hey, you need to help us. Remember what you did for us. And there's a wonderfully dramatic scene where they have a conversation together. It's shot very well, where Kosei is walking away. He's in the background. We see his back, and then it cuts back and forth where we get basically the same shot mirrored, but with one it'll be Kosei in the foreground, and then it'll be Serato Omega in the other foreground. And we also have Omega observing more of humanity and seeing them displaying kindness to the less fortunate and all that. And it's certainly having an effect on him. Weirdly enough, you would have thought that he would have been aware of this beforehand, before any of this, unless he forgot it. I don't know. So it's a little strange that it's affecting him now. Maybe it's because he did spend time. He remembers that time he spent as a human. That could be the case here. So obviously we know that this is going to move him to help humanity, help Earth in the next episode to defeat Zomira. So it's a predictable plot development and outcome. I'm just hoping that it's executed really well. That's all I'm asking for. Now, I do have a lot of questions about what exactly the space gazers are and how they relate to the ultras that we have seen in the past, or if perhaps this is why we haven't gotten a crossover this season with Arc, is because these ultras are substantially different. They are so substantially different that it doesn't make sense for them to team up with past ultras who are more traditional. Kind of like how Tiga and Gaia in particular haven't shown up a lot to team up with the other more traditional ultras like the Ultra Brothers. Tiga and Gaia. Dinah has a couple of times, but not the other two. So I could be completely reading into that, but I'm hoping that we get some more explanation. I need some more lore here, some more world building, as I really want to understand who the space gazers are and what their motivations are. Because next week seems to be the only opportunity to do that, because it doesn't look like Omega's getting a movie. If Omega was going to have a movie, they would be advertising it already. It would have been advertising this back in December. So I have a sneaking suspicion that next week is going to be it for Omega. And I'm guessing that's being done, if I have to theorize a little bit, probably because Subaraya is endeavoring to save some budget to do a big crazy thing for the 60th anniversary, which I might talk a little bit about what I'd like to see from that once I wrap things up for this episode, and talk a bit about that before we get into stuff with with Zest, which I should probably pull up now while I am talking. So I'll bring up YouTube, and as usual, not gonna stream it because that's only gonna get me in all kinds of trouble, because I've run into that already. Our Christmas stream actually got blocked in Japan because it registered Masked Rider. Thank you, great leader. Masked Rider as Kamen Rider Black RX. Because of course it did. What else is new? What else is new? All right. Yep. Says it's upcoming. But yeah. So who knows if they'll actually delve into that and explain it or not. It's the kind of stuff I would like to see. Is it going to kill the show if I don't get it? Maybe not. But I will admit, Omega started on a really high. And it's hit some really nice highs since then. But honestly, since the back half, since we got more into the back half, it's come down a little bit. It jumped back up once we had the big revelation about Serato. But I really need this to stick the landing. I really need it to stick the landing because at the moment, I think that because I've been watching all of these simulcasts since Ultraman ZEZTZ, whatever you want to call him. And Omega was really high up there for me, but at the moment, Blazar is still my favorite out of the ones that they've been simulcasting. But it's really going to depend on how well it sticks the landing. And I really do hope that this truly is paving the way for something really interesting for the 60th anniversary. So that's all the important things I can think of to talk about with this week's episode. Let me go over the comments here a little bit, and then I'll briefly talk about what I think would be cool to see for the 60th anniversary series that will be starting up in July, obviously. Yes, it's a solo run. I explained why already. Go back, listen to the first few minutes of the stream and you'll understand. Yep, saying hi to Jonathan. So, doing good, sir. Taking a break from Fortnite to watch and need to catch up on Ultraman Omega tonight. Sir, you are too old to be playing Fortnite. Play a real video game. Yes, Zoomers. I said it. Fortnite's not a real video game. Fight me. Omega seems to be two shows crammed together. What do you mean by that exactly? I'd be curious to understand what you mean by that. Let's see. Nice. I haven't played for it's been a couple of days. So you play Fortnite too? Oh my gosh, Jake. Play a real video game. It's been sweaty in there. So glad to take Sweaty, he says. The Space Gazers could be a rogue branch of Ultras that only watch because 8 know the other Ultras would be pissed at these guys. Maybe. I don't think the Ultras would necessarily be opposed to observing. I'm not sure, but these the Space Gazers definitely come across a bit more like the Watchers from Marvel, where they don't interfere, which is why Watu's interesting, because occasionally he will interfere. And it does sound like, and this is the interesting thing, he won't stop Zomira because Zomira is a homegrown, so to speak, kaiju. But he'll stop outside threats, which is what we saw him doing in the first episode when he was fighting all those giant bugs, because they're an outside force. So he has to keep Earth safe from foreign invaders, but he can't do anything about domestic problems. Now that I think about it, crap, you know what this is? And I'm probably totally reading into this, but oh my gosh, guys. I think I just cracked the code. Excuse me while I, find some of my books here are tipping over. I'm trying to get them a little more situated. You know what I just realized this could be? Big brain thinking here. This sounds like the security treaty between America and Japan. Hear me out here. Because the security treaty says that the United States in particular can help Japan when dealing with foreign invaders, but all domestic issues are left to Japan to deal with. That's why they have the self-defense forces. The self-defense forces take care of domestic problems. But the United States can help Japan deal with foreign attacks. Oh my gosh. That's what the space gazers are. They don't talk about that aspect of it all that much, but that's what the space gazers are. Holy crap. Woo, you heard it here first, folks. I have no idea if I'm right, but wow. Wow. Oh boy. All right. Some more stuff here from Jonathan. Blazar has been the last really good Ultra series so far. Yeah, I would agree with you there. It really broke the formula. I tried and experimented, did some new things. I did like Arc for what it was. It was still pretty solid. Did have its moments where it broke away from the formula, but it still felt a bit more traditional by comparison. The whole start of Omega was an interesting start, and then it seemed like they decided to make it more traditional when they had them join the Defense Force. Yeah, I said that all the way back then too. It was so interesting that that front half, how different it was, that it was breaking away from the formula by not having a science patrol sort of team. And I really liked it for that because that's rarely been done in this franchise. That's the thing. As much as I love Ultraman, it tends to stick to its formula. If there's one thing I will give Kamen Rider is that, yeah, it has tropes that it usually goes by, but particularly once you get to the Heisei era of Kamen Rider, it really starts breaking. Well, you get a little ways, into the Heisei era Kamen Rider. It starts breaking away from that, from the formula it typically used, and has gotten so experimental at points that it doesn't really feel like Kamen Rider anymore at points. But you can't argue with success because it's been making a crap ton of money, way more than Sentai has, and Sentai's been sticking to its formula for a while. I will say that. But then again, Ultraman's been doing that, and it's raking in a ton of money too. Can't argue with it. So Jake says, I think Arc was really good, Jonathan. Yeah, like I said, I do think Arc was pretty good. I do think it was pretty good. I like Blazar more, though. Arc was good, but not as good as Blazar to me. But it's a good show, too. Yeah. Basically what we've all been saying. So here's what I think would be cool to see for this rumored 60th anniversary show. Now, there's been no formal announcement yet, but as Jake and I discussed last week, there were talks about the trademark, and it's always funny watching Tokus. I didn't realize for Henshin Hero fans that following trademarks is a big deal every year because it gives you a little preview insight into what the next show is going to be. But it looks like the next Ultraman show is going to be called, I'm going to say Ultraman Theo, because it sounds more like the Greek, because it's supposed to be a Greek word. Otherwise, when you read it, it looks like his name is Theo, like Theodore. It's it's asking for a ton of jokes, just like Ultraman Trigger. That invited a ton of jokes too. But here's what I would like to see, because Theo is the Greek word for God. So it seems like we're going for a deity, like at the very least, Ultra. What I would like to see is not so much an Ultra who like taps into all the powers of past Ultras and all that. That's a gimmick that we've seen too much already. We've seen a few Ultras that have done that already. I don't want to see that. I would prefer to see something more like Mebius, where there will be episodes that focus on a different past to Ultra. Maybe not every episode, but a lot of episodes that will focus on different past Ultras and doing some sort of follow-up story or featuring them on some sort of an adventure. It's a team up that maybe goes through the entire history of the franchise, and then culminates with a big crossover event where they all have to join forces to defeat a great evil, whatever that may be, a new villain or Belial or something else, the Absolutians or whatever, I think that would be a really cool way to do it. I don't just want it to be like a Gokaiger, is that what it is? Like Gokaiger or Mega Force for Power Rangers and Super Sentai, respectively, where it's just power sets, it's costume swaps, because like I said, we've seen other Ultras who've done that before. Been a lot of them actually in the new generation hero era in particular who have done that, and that it's gimmicky, it's obviously toyetic. So I'd rather not see that. Make it something really meaningful because that's how Mebius was. Mebius was interesting because it did all these follow-ups to the previous Ultras. Now, it only did the Showa era, which I get, it's Showa era nostalgia was a thing back then even. I like to see the entire history of Ultraman be represented in this way. Showa, Heisei, and New Gen heroes. I think it'll be really cool. May not have enough episodes, but it would still be really interesting to see, especially since there was, I think it was Taro. Taro didn't get a follow up in Mebius. They wanted to do one, but ended up not. So it'd be really cool if they did that. All right. Got a couple more minutes here before ZEZTZ starts. Let me look at a few more comments. The nurturing of Earth and nature of his species, a good collision. Okay. Let me see. Well, I got to get off here, guys. See you all. Good night. All right. Thanks for coming by. What's up, Edwin? So Omega got the Buzz Lightyear reset. Kinda. You will be the caster detailing the final blow. Ripped off a musical to make this like. Edwin, your brain just works better. I mean, not better, but works very differently than most people. All right. Let's jump over here to play an ad. I'm just going to mute it. Let's see. Still got an ad. Can we skip ahead? I'm tired. I don't want Fort Wayne specific ads just because I live here. Yay. Got a minute to go, folks. Is it? Oh, it's 17. I was wrong. People. I need to edit this. It's episode 17, not 16. I should have double checked. So there we go. Let me put a comment here. Let everybody know that we have arrived. We're a podcast where three friends have 3 minutes to talk about tokusatsu. The things I see in these chats for this show is nutty, to say the least. All right. Let's unmute and see what we have going on here. I would still love it if our villainous lady here is just the great leader in female form. That'd be hilarious. But it looks like Agent Zero here is dead, which is crazy. Yeah, this nightmare looks really cool. I've said that before. I'll keep saying it. Nox got a serious upgrade. Yeah. Oh, okay, Wolfman. You do your fun little flip just because. Oh, we're in the I forget what it's called, but the lightning mode. Oh, back alleys. A favorite fight spot for superheroes. Thunder. Oh yeah, I forgot she's inside of him because monsters and henshin hero shows love hiding people inside of them. It's a thing. You just got barreled by Donkey Kong. How do you feel? Of Baku. I thought she said Baka. I'm like, what? Whoa. Are those the bits and pieces of him? That's your belt, buddy. He's right there. He's just in tiny pieces. Uh-oh. Things are about to get a little intense. Wonder if they're seriously gonna make poor Baku have to go through the rest of the series without any help. No mentor, no headquarters, no nothing. It'd be interesting. Oh, sorry. Bump my mic. Let me see. Do we have any comments here? Time for crazy Gandalf to watch Zest. Yes, you are crazy Gandalf. I really want to know if Tokusatsu is going to start airing the new Space Sheriff Gavin, because I'm hearing that supposedly it's supposed to air internationally. So like, who's going to do it? Would have thought they would have said something by now. Pursue, huh? That's our episode title. Got a new toy there, buddy? Looks like a lightsaber hilt. It's Sentai Guy's new waifu. What? He's a remote control puppet? So he's not actually dead? Wait, his memory unit. Oh, don't read my mind without permission, huh? You can do that, lady? Huh. I mean, I like the fact that that robot isn't actually Zero, but that just begs the question, who is Zero? The riderless motorcycle? That's because the riderless motorcycle kind of got blowed up, if I remember correctly. Oh my gosh, a freaking ad. Leave me alone. I want to watch my Kamen Rider. Shut up. I don't need a lawyer. Or rather, I already have a lawyer. His name is Raymond. 'I'll find her because I said I would. Admire the determination, but you might want to get yourself a little bit more of a plan. 4 years ago? Huh? What? Oh, what? I have the power of hand wavery. Seriously, a female version of the great leader. Please, please tell me she's running the Zest version of Shocker. Because the script told me to, and you're the heroes? Whoa. Wow. Thank you, Tokushatsu, for putting the a little transparent translation page up there. That was very clever. I love it when subtitlers get a little more creative with how they do things. Are you sure you have to? How good of a Lego master are you? Oh, never mind. I forgot. You have the magic gashapon. This is the equivalent of having AI do the job for you. Nothing. Because memory unit doesn't have the memory unit. You just get a regular motorcycle, buddy, like most other common riders. I'm invincible in my dreams. Out of context, that is not reassuring. Whoa, translated text messages. Again, we're getting a little clever with how we do translation this week. Motorcycles a lot like life. They have to keep moving forward. Sure. What? He just started his motorcycle by scraping a gachapon on it. Sure. Oh my gosh, actual motorcycle action in a modern Kamen Rider show. What is this? Freaking ads. Leave me alone, Five Guys. But this is a commercial telling me, okay, FedEx, you really want me to get a passport that bad, huh? Severed arm? Into the keyhole. That looked like a commercial break. Oh, hello. You weren't there a second ago. Okay. Really? Pseudo teleportation powers there? What is with this weird hollow red moon? It's in every episode. I feel like it's got some sort of significance. I'm just not sure what yet. Shadow. If that was an attempt at an attack, it didn't work. Oh, this is a different mode. What? Psh. Oh, no, it isn't an alt mode. I don't think. Some nice camera work there. Wait, why am I seeing tiny subtitles at the bottom? Well, that's just not fair. Very anime. I give them credit. They come up with some cool choreography. What? That was cool. Shadow can grab his shadow and manipulate him like a puppet. That's nice. What? Okay. Shadow redemption? Well, sheesh. Flipped a switch there. An astonishing lack of self-preservation. That's funny. So has said many a supervillain. Oh crap. You ate someone? Well, that is a whole other level there. What? Oh, you're gonna fight him unmorphed? What? You just kicked her out of his stomach. That was not on my bingo card today. Kind of like that commercial. What? Cast as a kidnap victim? You couldn't fight back? What? You're telling me that all they had to do to beat you was make you a kidnap victim? Okay. What? Really? Why? The chat is saying that he needs to pick a side. Rider kick? Yep, basically. So is this his face turn? Sure, dude. I don't think boss lady's gonna be very happy with you. Sign of my faith in your talents. So this is all still a ploy? Is that a threat? Look at that blue sky, and I don't mean the social network. Come on, we got to end on an ominous note because that's how this show works. Boss lady messing with him? That is Boss Lady. Getting enough sleep. You're masquerading as a psychologist? What? Oh, it's the real Zero. Oh, come on. You're going to hide his face? Who the frick are you? Now, the chat's saying it's Agent 3. Okay. He looks like L from Death Note. Oh, we're going to a high school because of course we are. Okay, then. There you go. Let me look over these comments. That was a pretty solid episode. I still am sticking to my theory that she's a female great leader and she's running the new version of Shocker. Let's see, Edwin. Upload the memory unit. Corrupt it, harvest it, maybe a ticking clock or a tyke for corruption. Time? Maybe? Okay. Typo. From one handler to another. Oh, a Kamen Rider picks up and handles something with a foot. It's fine. A regular guy does it. It's wrong. Be careful, Knox, or you end up like Yasin Gregovich. I have no idea what that's referencing. Great. I got Akama on the brain. Miraculous with its purple ladybugs. Okay, dude. Well, there you go. There you go. Yeah. Wow. More freaking writers. Yeah, kind of. But, the way we're doing it this time is the secondary writer is a villain, and we have a primary writer who has a bunch of reskins, so we can make more toys because that's how this works. Still take that over a lot of other things. Alrighty, well, there you go. Next week is the finale of Ultraman Omega. Hopefully, I'll get the whole team here. I have been given a report from Sentai Guy. He says his goal is to have all of our 5 episodes edited by the end of the month. So be prepared for some more writer coverage from us. And we're going to try to get started on recording season 2 as soon as possible. All right. Let me see what Baron from Gaim was a secondary writer as villain. That's true. Yeah. Hope so too. All right. Yeah. Good luck from Fies. Yeah. Thanks. All right. See you later. What did we learn this week? That's a good question. What did we learn this week? Stop testing kaiju and may the power protect you. Thank you for listening to Henshin Power V3, a podcast produced and hosted by Nathan March and
Christopher Reiner
and Jake Amber.
If you'd like to send us feedback, we'd love to hear from you. So email us at henshin.power.v3@gmail.com.
Follow us on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter. Thank you, Danny DeManna, where our handle is at HenshinPowerV3, and join our official Facebook groups, Power Rangers Legacy and the Marco Out Lounge. We also have a Discord server called the Marco Out Lounge. Check the show notes for links to all of them.
Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and other great podcatchers. The podcast logo was designed by Rebecca Hudgens. Follow her on Instagram at super_r_illustrations.
Our theme song is a Joe the Hero remix by GVG Kid, which is based on a track from the video game Beautiful Joe.
All film and audio clips belong to their respective copyright holders, and no infringement is intended or implied.
Please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Podchaser to spread the word about the show. And until next time,
Swatch!